So I am discussing architecture and system characteristics, and we discuss that architecture is very important. Software architecture is very important for a feedback loop from stakeholders and in terms of non-functional requirements. We discussed the difference between functional and non-functional requirements in the last lecture. That functional requirements are the functions of the system. That functions, the system has to perform those functions, like in the ATM, we can withdraw money, we can transfer cash, we can check balance, we can pay bill. These are the functional requirements. In Odus Plus, the registration system, student can add course, drop course, can check his grades. So similarly, the instructor faculty, they can check the attendance and they can enter the grades, they can check their schedule. So these are the functions of Odus. As Microsoft Office, we have Word, we have PowerPoint, we have Excel, we have Access. Like we are using PowerPoint and we are using Blackboard software. So Blackboard software is an educational management system, and we are taking online lectures through the Blackboard. These are the functions. Now the non-functional requirements are like performance, security, safety, availability, maintainability. These all are non-functional requirements. So performance is the efficiency, that how quickly software can respond to the users, and its speed of execution should be high, and it should not take more time to load. So we should not use heavy components in our system. And then I'm asking the difference between safety and security. So only Mr. Asim answered my question. What about Abdul Rahman, Abdul Aziz, Faris Fareed, Khalid Abdullah, Adil Umar, Rehan Hussain? No one. Okay. Security is for data theft. The difference between security and safety. Yes, security is for data theft, whereas safety is for the human risk, khatar, for the humans. Like we have safety critical projects where human life threats or risks are involved, like flight control system, fire alarming system, space shuttle system, nuclear reactor control system, and even in the washing machine, you can see on the top glass or on the front glass, if it is front window, it's written that this is safety glass. So child will not fall inside the washing machine when it's moving. So there is safety glass is there. Even in the factory, you go there, they have written safety first. So safety is related to human being, like airbag in the car is a safety critical project, or we can say safety system. So to save the passenger from serious injuries, we have airbags. So that's a safety, whereas security is for data theft. So from the architecture point of view, we have to see that there should not be loophole in the system. From security point of view, that hacker cannot penetrate inside the system. So we have a testing, it's called penetration testing, to check that hacker cannot penetrate inside the system. And then we have to see the safety as well through the architecture, that human beings, human risks should be covered if it is safety critical project. Availability. How to define availability? Rehan Hussain, Khalid Abdullah, Abdul Rahman Ahmed, Abdul Aziz Eid, Khalid Abdullah, anyone? Yes, the availability of the system should be 99.99%. So we must have backup server. If main server is crashed, so it automatically redirect the user to another server. So that is also under the architecture and with respect to system characteristics. So like Amazon, Google, Hotmail, Yahoo, Gmail, eBay, their availability is 99.99% because it's a 24 by 7 and 365 days a year. So round the clock, because all over the world, Amazon has sale. When we have day in second world, third world country, the Asia, they have night in USA. When they have day, we have night. So, but Amazon e-commerce websites, they have 24-hour business. So they should be available 99.99%. And then maintainability. Adil Umar, Abdul Aziz Eid, Asim, Abdul Aziz Eid, Asim, Rayan Hussain, Khalid Abdullah. Maintainability means easy to maintain the system. That's easy to update, easy to upgrade, easy to fix the bugs. So ability of a system to easily fix or repair, that is the maintainability. So we can easily remove the previous component and plug the new components. So if it is designed in such a way that there are less dependencies, because we have different type of dependencies. We have integration dependencies, we have configuration dependencies, we have architectural dependency, we have tool dependency, we have operating system dependency. So there are different type of dependencies, and sometimes we have social dependencies. So architectural dependency means it has high coupling and low cohesion. There is too much dependency that two or more modules are depending on each other to perform their functionality. Like I remember one example from Alistair Cockburn during his lectures, that one of the top companies, software development companies, top manager asked the Alistair Cockburn that our system, we have almost 1,000 people just to maintain, and because there is too much dependency, architectural dependency, like Microsoft architecture, they never change their architecture. So whatever the new system, they are inheriting from the previous Windows. Like some bugs even in Windows 95 are reported in 2014 by IBM. So after 19 years, that bug was there. So they just introduced patches, and it's like exception, and user just avoid that bug and continue to the next operation, next function. So there is too much dependency in Microsoft architecture, and that company also facing the same problem. So Alistair Cockburn asked them to redesign their architecture. Then they don't need 1,000 people. They maybe need only 50 people now. after designing the new architecture without dependency, without too much coupling. If there is too much coupling, there will be high dependency. So that's the architecture and system characteristics we need to discuss. Any question regarding the non-functional requirements with respect to architecture? Okay. Then I move to the next. We have pattern. So our course is software design pattern. So I covered the software definition, I covered the design definition, design detail, some fundamentals. Now I am covering the pattern. How to define a pattern? So who will define? Abdul Aziz Eid. Asim. Ryan Hussain. Khalid Abdullah. Template to solve problems. Okay. Faris Fareed. Abdul Rahman Ahmed. Something have common and repeated. Okay. Anyone else who wants to define? Anyone? Okay. Pattern is a structure or template designed to provide solution of a specific problem. So we have template or structure that is designed to provide solution. So our objective is to provide solution of a specific problem. So we need to fix some problem. So we have architecture and then we have the pattern. For example, if we want to manufacture something, we have to first manufacture a die or a pattern, and then we manufacture according to that if it is approved. Similarly, you have different type of patterns in your life. Like in order to have manufacture glass, cup, shoe, car, monitor, iPhone, mobile phone, we have patterns. Once one pattern is approved, then we make copies. So that's a common example to fix some problem. Then for bread even, you have pattern and then you cut the slices of the bread to have specific shape and then you pack it and sell it. So it's one of the examples of pattern. Even cake, they have pattern and then they cook the cake according to that, and then the cake is ready as it's a maybe circle shape or square shape or a tower shape as you like. So even for car parts, we have pattern like handle. It's called injection molding. Then they manufacture the handle of the car according to the type of car, like if it is Suzuki, Toyota, Corolla, Land Cruiser, Prado, Ford. So they have vendors. Same vendor is manufacturing the handle for Toyota. Same manufacturer is manufacturing handle for Honda. Same manufacturer is supplying the parts to Suzuki, but they have different patterns. So according to the patterns they manufacture and they deliver. Now let's come to the software. How many examples of the pattern? For example, command button. There are so many examples. Command button, label box, check box, option box, form window. So we have patterns. So we know this icon is a pattern and it has specific function like command button. We never use text box to perform the function of command button and vice versa. We never use command button to enter the text, to input or output. So we know that this is the function of command button. This is menu. This is, for example, dialog. So this is form to design our interface. So that's examples of patterns. Any question up to here? Any question up to here? Is it clear? Okay. So pattern, as per the Christopher Alexander, each pattern describes a problem that occur over and over again. So it's a repeating problem and there is a repeating solution for that. Occurs over problem, happens over and over again in our environment, and we need some solution to fix that problem. So even your applications in your daily life, there was problem and then there was a solution. For example, before ATM system, we have to go to the bank to withdraw money. So there was a repeating problem by the customers and ATM was introduced as a solution. So they can withdraw money without going to the bank and without taking care of the office hours, banking hours, weekends, holidays. They can withdraw money, they can use ATM 24/7. Then, for example, your oven to cook food. So before that, we don't have any such device, any such application was not available. So because of the problems of the customers, so we have gas ovens, electric ovens were introduced to make it easy for you to cook. There was no refrigerator or fridge was available. Pressure cooker was not available. Your computers were very large. Then we have laptops were introduced, computers, small personal computers were introduced by IBM in 1970s. Then laptops, then tablets, pads were introduced. Wireless media, wireless devices. So we have wired devices, now we have wireless devices were introduced. Application for the repeating problem of the customer. And we have 3-part rule. We have a context, we have problem, and we have a solution. So there are three components for a pattern. We need to see what is the context. I already covered context in 251. What is the meaning of context? Abdur Rahman Ahmed. Asim. Rian Hussain. Okay, no problem. Adil Umar. Abdul Aziz Eid. Faris Fareed. Okay, now it's open for you. Anyone who wants to answer? Okay. Context mean what was before. Like for example, in my 10th standard, we have subject, our native language is Urdu, but we don't consider it as our first language. We treat it as a second language. But we have 10th standard, we have subject Urdu and we have exam. And there was one pet question from the textbook about any story, about any lesson. They took one paragraph from any story and they asked the students to write the context of that paragraph. Write the context of that paragraph. Means what was before this paragraph and what was after that paragraph. How this paragraph completes the story. So you know before this paragraph, you know after this paragraph. This was the context of that paragraph. Similarly, in our systems, what is the context for the new system? What are the existing systems running in the customer, on the customer side? What already systems customers are using? This is the context of the new system. For example, in Saudi Arabia, we have Madda ATM network. In Pakistan, we have M-Link or OneLink network. So you can withdraw money from any ATM system of any bank. Like I'm account holder of Samba, I can go to Bank Al Raji, Saudi Bank of Riyadh, or any bank, Arab National Bank. And in Pakistan, I have account in, for example, Askari Bank and Bank Al Habib, or for example, National Bank, or for example, Standard Chartered Bank, Grindlays Bank. So I can withdraw money from any of the other bank which is connected to the network, M-Link or OneLink. Like in Saudi Arabia, we have Madda, or we have in GCC we have Madda. I can withdraw money from even from Dubai. So we don't have Standard Chartered Bank or Grindlays Bank in Saudi Arabia. These are very well-known banks. If Standard Chartered Bank or Grindlays Bank wants to open branches in Saudi Arabia, they have to introduce their ATM system, because now it's compulsory for any bank to open to have their ATM system before they open branches in any country or any city. So the existing MADA, existing network, is the context for the ATM system of Standard Chartered or Grindlays Bank. That is the context for ATM system of Grindlays or Standard Chartered Bank. So this is the context of the problem. What is the context? What is the previous environment? Because we have to consider that. Because the solution has to work in that environment. Solution means like the software. This software has to work with the integration of the previous software. So there are integration dependencies we need to consider. For example, maybe the tool dependency. Operating system tools are different, operating systems are different, protocols are different, specifications are different. We need to consider that before we provide a solution for that problem. So there is three-part rule. Context, what is the problem? Like after analysis we say, what analysis model we have problem. Design, we have solution. So context, problem and the solution. This is three-part rule. Any question up to here? Any question up to here? Okay. Now, how many types of patterns we have? That is our next topic. How many types of patterns we have in software engineering? So we understand software, we define software, we define design, we define pattern. So our course name is completed, Software Design Pattern. Now our next topic is, what are the main types of patterns available in software engineering? Abdurrahman Ahmed Hamoud, Ryan Hussain, Abdul Aziz Eid, Khalid Abdullah, 3. So let me ask to Abdul Aziz. Abdul Aziz Eid, you know what are the 3 types of patterns we have? Faris Fareed. Okay. Adil Umar, Ryan Hussain. We have three types of patterns available in software engineering. We have architectural, we have design, and we have EDM. So architectural patterns are available for the architect. So he can use them to make a system easy to perform, easy to reuse, time saving, cost saving, so effort saving, resource saving. So that's the job of architect, to cut down the cost of the software company. So architectural patterns are available. And then we have, let's discuss architectural pattern. Anybody knows any example of architectural pattern? Asim. Ryan Hussain. I'm asking the example of architectural pattern. Mr. Asim, I'm asking the example of architectural pattern. Any example of architectural pattern? Maslan, give me example. Khalid Abdullah. Okay. Client server architecture. Any other example? MVC. Very good. So let's go to the. So we have like first DFDs, UML, ERD. They are common examples of architectural pattern. In DFD, you have specific symbols to draw data flow diagrams. We have Sawson symbol and we have Jordan symbol. In the Sawson symbol, process symbol is different for entity symbol, data flow, data store, and Jordan symbol, the process is like circle, entity is like square. We have process and we have a data flow is like straight arrow, and data store two horizontal parallel lines, straight lines with empty space. So we have fixed symbols. We know this is process symbol, this is entity symbol, this is data store symbol, this is data flow symbol. In the UML, you have use case diagram, class diagram, sequence, collaboration, state, activity, swim lane, transition, component diagram, deployment diagram, package diagrams are there. Let's take the example of use case. You have fixed symbol for use case, that this oval shape, egg shape is a use case symbol. Then actor symbol. You know, this is an actor. Boundary symbol, that this is to separate the inside and outside of the system. Then you have artifacts, which we label through the stereotypes, includes and extends, that this double angle bracket, if it is written include or uses, so one use case will use the data of another use case, and if with two angle brackets, closed written and closed written extends, mean there is abnormal behavior. So for example, prerequisite courses not completed, then student cannot register the next semester course, advanced course. So then he has to select some other course. If username, password are wrong or PIN is wrong, then it is extended to re-enter the username, password. So this is abnormal behavior or course of actions that is extended. So for the use case, we have these fixed symbols, fixed patterns. Class diagram, we have three compartments of a square shape, and we have class name, first compartment, data, second compartment, functions, third compartment, and then you have inheritance, or you have composition, aggregation. So this is all is there in the class diagram. And then we have cardinalities, we have degrees. Sequence diagram, we have messages, time line is there, lifeline is there, so object is there. So object passes messages to each other to show the dynamic modeling of UML. These are the fixed patterns. Then comes to ERD diagram, entity relationship diagram for backend architecture. So we have entities, we have cardinalities, we have degrees, unary, binary, ternary, quaternary, one to one, one to many to many. So, associative entity, we have, for example, multi-value attributes. So, we have cardinalities, we have degrees. So, this is all fixed symbols for entity relationship diagram. So that is about the from the front end, from the back end point of view. So I'm finishing my lecture here. Any question about the today's lecture?